Job creation may have rebounded in November, but the unemployment rate also went up. It's now 4.2%. And while that's low, it's significantly higher than the pandemic low of 3.4%. The labor market has pivoted from the Great Resignation, remember that, to what my next guest describes as a slowdown in hiring. Joining me is Ethan Bernstein. He's Associate Professor of Business Administration in the Organizational Behavior Unit at Harvard Business School. And he's the co-author of the new book, Job Moves, a guide for making progress in your career when you switch jobs. And Ethan, this is a chance for me to check in on work from home and all of that. So welcome back. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you as well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Could we set the scene by just saying, how do we compare in this economy today that as you would have thought 3 years ago during the height of COVID, with the percentage of people and the general availability of work from home?
Work from home is a little bit on the decline. There are many organizations that are returning to office. And that said, though, work from home seems to be a fixture. It's here to stay. So in some respects, we're still figuring out what exactly will happen going forward.
Right. I mean, when you see the headlines about, what they might do with the federal government and all of that, is there more to the story, or is it as simple as, that's one aspect that may be lagging the private sector in terms of the proportion of people who are back in office?
Well, so it's a really interesting dynamic, because at the same time you have that and you have this interesting sort of stable but lukewarm jobs report we got today. You also have Gallup saying that there are more people interested in switching jobs in the United States right now than there have been ever within the last decade. Wow. So there's a lot of restlessness. There's this change to work from home and people trying to regain control over what it is they're trying to do with their work lives. And we have a market around us that is stable but not completely as exciting as it's been in the last couple of years.
It's interesting you say that there's a big interest in switching jobs, but is there as much ability to do so as there was a little while back? And what is the role that AI is playing in all of this, for better or worse, do you think?
Well, so let's start with AI. AI is interesting. It's almost becoming the situation it would seem where if I'm a job applicant, my AI is competing with your AI as an organization to try and have a conversation between two AIs as opposed to between two people, which is making things a little more complicated, especially as people are really looking for more customized employee experiences, and organizations, I think, are looking for more customized employee contributions. So AI is playing an interesting role. It's trying to make things a little bit better, and at the same time, it may be making things more standardized in the process. So that's the AI piece of this.
Let me just ask you about that. Some have posited because of this, we're going to go back actually to the older, more clubby model where everything that happens from a warm intro, happens because, this is a person we went to college together and I can kind of vouch for them, or it's a relative or a friend or an associate. And that is kind of anti-meritocratic in some ways.
I would actually prefer to believe that what we'll do is go into a world where AI can handle much of the standardized efficiency part of the process. And we really come back to having a conversation about how to help individuals make the progress they want to make in their next job while the organization gets the progress they need to make from those people's contributions to the organization. Part of what we really try to do in the book is talk about the fact that organizations don't just hire people, people also hire organizations for a job to be done in their next role in their careers. And if we can help people make that progress, then people will stay longer, they'll be more engaged, they'll deliver more to the organization. And I think that's where we sit right now. If AI could help us take care of the rest of it, then the human-to-human conversation could do more.
How does AI help us take care of the rest of that, though? What role does it play? In what you're describing, it sounds to me like just a person who's hired talking to their boss or whatnot about their goals for the position.
Well, but these are conversations between managers and people. These are conversations between hiring managers and potential applicants. But there's also the standardized process through which people have to go. So part of the onus is on the individual. Out of the 13 chapters of this book, 11 of them are for the job seeker to make sure that they have a narrative that an AI can understand, and therefore that the audience that they're talking to can understand. Once they have that narrative, once they've done the work to help them think about what the progress is that they're trying to make, then the manager can come in and help, and that human-to-human conversation can amplify the sorting mechanism that the AI is likely doing in the background.